25,000 men and women work for the UK Border Force. At home and abroad, their job is to seek out the lawbreakers and imposters who don't have a right to be here. They are the UK Border Force. Tonight, unearthing Britain's biggest ever immigration scandal.
No, I don't want you talking. You've been arrested. Come with me upstairs, now.
At Heathrow, the passenger looking for more than just entry to Britain.
Please give me justice. I am a real student. I'm a hard worker.
Sir, justice is a big word.
And tracking down the Indian holiday makers who never went home.
When did you come to the UK? 4 years ago. So your 6-month visit visa is well expired.
Has been expired.
Well expired.
People all over the world want to live and work in Britain. In 2008, 180,000 people applied for UK work visas. There are plenty of businesses that offer advice to those hoping to be among the lucky ones. Not all of them play by the rules.
Mornings, police. Can you come and open the door, please?
The UK Border Agency and the police have joined forces to combat companies putting in fraudulent applications to the Home Office. This morning in West London, a team led by DC Andy Cornwell are planning a dawn raid. They are targeting a company owned by an Indian national called Jatinda Sharma.
At the beginning, the intelligence was passed to us, and it suggested a chap called Jatinda Sharma was supplying counterfeit educational documents to the Home Office to enable
the team believes Sharma is married to two women, Neelam
We'll have a
and
little
Racket.
overview of what's happening.
And that all three run a visa racket that has given thousands of people access to Britain who shouldn't be.
Police officers, I have a warrant to search this premises. Can you come in, please? Yeah, is he upstairs, is he? Right, I'll come up with you then. Hello there, sir. Are you Mr. Sharma? So if you come downstairs with us, I shall explain everything to you.
Sorry.
Sharma is a trained solicitor whose previous clients include the hook-handed Muslim cleric Abu Hamza.
Come downstairs and look.
The officers want to contain Sharma and his wives so they can't destroy incriminating evidence.
I've got a warrant to search this address for forged and counterfeit educational documents, and also any articles that may be used to manufacture those documents. Okay, do you understand that? Right. Come and have a seat, madam.
What is it?
What is your name?
Raki.
Raki, have a seat in that chair for us, please.
DC Cornwell has something else on
Can I have a seat over there?
He suspects they've used deception to stay in the country.
Here, but my colleague's got something that he needs to say to each of you first.
You're going to be arrested, okay, on suspicion of obtaining leave by deception.
Me?
Yeah. Do not say anything about harm offensive. Do not mention when questions are later in court.
Right, yeah, Julian, this is Neelam.
Neelam, we've had info that you've been assisting a non-EU citizen to remain in the UK.
Assisting.
Neelam is suspected of endorsing Raki's fraudulent application
all
to
this is
stay
done,
in
and we'll talk to
Britain.
you. Once you do not say anything about harming defensive, do not mention when questions are later in court. Deception.
Raki is here on a work
do not say anything about harming defensive.
has
do not
never
mention
worked
when
where
questions
she's
are
supposed to.
something later in court. Racket, you should not be in the UK. You're under arrest for obtaining leave by deception.
Right, can you come with me then upstairs? Can you come with me upstairs? No, I don't want you talking. You've been arrested.
With Sharma and his two wives under arrest for immigration offences, the team look for evidence that they're behind the bigger crime of running a fake visa.
Do you have any documents in this building, Mr. Sharma, in this house that you shouldn't have?
Please feel free to,
Where?
because I don't do any kind of deception,
Where?
sir.
So far we've found bank statements showing large deposits. We've also got various what appears to be Indian certificates and blank letterheads, and we've also got a stamp and an ink pad for the Smile Dental Clinic. A bit tricky to read backwards, but it's Bangalore.
If the certificates and the stamps are counterfeit, it could go some way to enabling unqualified people to work fraudulently as dentists in Britain. And while there's evidence they're moving large sums of money around the world, it seems Sharma likes to keep it in the family.
And Mr. P. Sharma, that's your younger son. So your younger son is 8.
What is this?
And he owes money. His bank account's in arrears. That makes no sense.
Is it
Who?
an offence?
Sorry?
Is it a crime?
Well, it depends who's using or who P. Sharma is.
After 2 hours of searching, the officers have found £6,000 in cash, details of bank deposits totalling hundreds of thousands of pounds, and suspected fake certificates. Now, tucked away in one of the bedrooms is perhaps the most revealing find so far.
What we found here in the bedroom is a carrier bag which contains a vast quantity of stamps, different stamps and stamp making machines. It may well be used in to facilitate defrauding the Home Office with qualifications that maybe haven't been attained by the relevant person using them.
The raid has thrown up plenty of questions to put to Mr. Sharma and his 2 wives. And that's after only searching their home. Now the team have their sights on their business address.
What you've got here is people who are abusing the privilege of living in the UK, and that's what we're hoping to prove today in relation to these individuals.
Marvellous. See you back at Sniffer.
Excellent.
Coming up,
Okay.
no option but to release repeat offenders who play the system.
Off you go. Don't come back here. You're not permitted to work. Okay? Off you go.
And homing in on the Sharma's business leads to damning evidence.
He's not studied anywhere. He needs international graduate students, so we have to show some course.
That's fantastic.
That is the killer, isn't it?
It's estimated there are over 1 million illegal immigrants living in Britain. Many choose Britain because they believe it's a soft touch. They know the scams to stay on illegally and avoid deportation. The UK Border Agency has 38 enforcement bases whose job it is to track these people down. Today, a team in Glasgow are carrying out a raid on the Royal India restaurant in one of the city's most affluent areas. They have intelligence the restaurant is employing illegal workers.
Hi there, from immigration, if you just see my colleague there. Hi there guys, from immigration, you want to put everything down for us please? Make your way out here, make your way out. Go there.
The team find 5 workers and the owner of the restaurant. An employer must make checks on his staff to ensure they are allowed to work in the UK. He can be fined up to £10,000 for each illegal worker found on his premises.
Now, once I find out what's happening with my colleagues in relation to their questioning, then I'll sit and have a wee chat with you and we'll establish if they were working here or not, okay?
First to be questioned about his immigration status is the waiter.
What nationality are you, Sharon? Indian. Do you have a passport?
I don't have any passport.
You don't have a passport? How did you get into the country without a passport?
I came and I lost my passport.
You came and you lost your passport. When did you come to the UK?
4 years ago.
4 years ago? On a 6-month visit visa?
On a 6-month visit.
So your 6-month visit visa is well expired?
Has been expired.
Well expired?
Yes.
Okay.
The scam of coming into the UK as a tourist and staying on to work has given this man up to 4 years of illegal employment. If his colleague was hoping to pull off the same trick, he wasn't banking on meeting the enforcement team so soon.
And how long have you been in the UK?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks? Do you have permission to work?
I don't know.
How long have you been working here?
Today.
1 day.
For this Indian man found in the kitchen, an encounter with immigration while at work is nothing new.
Do you have a passport? Why don't you have a passport?
I am signature in your office, Ibrox.
You're reporting to immigration at the moment. Why are you reporting to our office? Have you been spoken to by immigration before?
Indian National Killamant Polo.
Killamant Polo Club. this gentleman here was actually encountered by myself on a previous visit to a restaurant on the opposite side of Glasgow about 8 weeks ago. He was then arrested at that point and served papers as an illegal entrant. Those papers would have told him he's not permitted to work, so here we found him yet again working illegally.
When the team arrested the worker last time, they could not find his passport and so were unable to remove him from Britain. All they could do was release him on bail.
The documentation that was issued to you when you were last encountered by immigration must have told you you were not allowed to work. You're not permitted to work.
I'm starting this morning.
You're starting this morning?
The men do not appear to be fazed by being caught working illegally, and this worker has a familiar tale to tell.
I'm at a curry shop, Ashton.
Ashton. Oh, wee curry shop?
Wee curry shop.
Last week?
Before Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Okay.
Okay, how long have you been in the UK?
19 years.
19 years.
The man has also recently been arrested by the team, and he too was released on bail and told not to work.
How long have you been working here then?
Today.
Today? How much you get paid?
No pay.
If the man is not being paid, he must be working as a volunteer. It's certainly a story the owner wants to promote.
What's the point? Okay, so you don't pay him any money. No. What does it get? What does it get in return?
He only came in today. I haven't paid him any money yet.
Okay. No, that's fine. But would you be paying him any money if he was here tomorrow?
No, I wouldn't.
No. So what does he get in return for his employment?
He says he's going to have a food. You know that.
So he gets food basically, yeah.
But I wasn't paying him anyway. He wasn't employed.
Okay.
Okay, Harvey.
As the illegal worker arrested last week is already on bail, and the team still don't have the documents they need to remove him from the UK, all they can do is release him.
jeans and that as well?
Shows how scared they are of us. Caught him last week.
Yeah.
We issue him a letter to the people and say, look, you're not allowed to work, you're in the country legally.
Okay.
What does he do? He goes straight back out and get another job. It's frustrating.
Okay. How long were you intending to work for? Months? Years? No. Until you get caught, or?
Here? No, 4 o'clock start today.
Yeah, and that's it? You were only going to work today?
Just today.
Don't believe you. No more working? Okay?
Yes.
Time for you to go. Hello mate, that's Parveen Kumar off the premises.
The man has now twice seen the consequence of getting caught working illegally. He knows that until the enforcement team get hold of his travel documents, it pays to exploit the system and to find another job.
Okay, you need to come this way, okay?
And to the frustration of the officers, the same goes for the other illegal worker already on bail. But the owner could be hit where it hurts with a potential fine so far of £20,000. Little wonder then that he claims the men were just visiting.
Okay, so did you employ Gurwant?
No.
Okay, so again, he was encountered in your kitchen dressed in Chef White.
Dressed out in white,
so
they probably wore the code, you know, because they might think I might get dirty or something like that. You know,
right,
they wasn't even employed.
okay, what's happened is if he's encountered on your premises and he's witnessed in your kitchen preparing food, he's working, will that be in return of food or in return of money? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, off you go. Don't come back here. Okay? So you're not permitted to work. Okay? Off you go.
The men already on bail may be free to go, but the remaining 2 suspected illegal workers may not get off as light. If they are arrested and the team find their passports, they could be removed from the country within days.
That's where you live? Yeah.
500 miles away, the UK Border Agency and the police continue their investigation into the Sharma's fake visa business. After a dawn raid, Jatinda Sharma and his 2 wives are brought to Southall Police Station. Evidence found in their house suggests they're involved in manufacturing bogus certificates for visa applicants.
I think you're all aware that we were quite successful this morning. We've recovered approximately 50 to 100 stamps in all different sorts of identities and for all different sorts of companies, which tend to suggest the occupiers are involved in some sort of fraud or deception against the Home Office. And we've seized bank accounts which show that they're making money from their enterprises. I think some of the accounts have got 50,000, some have got £20,000 in them.
Jatinda, can you turn to your left, please, so you're facing that wall there?
The officers have plenty of questions to put to the suspects, but first they want to look for more evidence. The team believe that crucial documents will be held at Uni Visas, the business Sharma runs with his wives Raki and Neela.
We've just arrived at phase 2 of the operation. This is the business address of Uni Visas. This is where the 3 people who were arrested at the home address work. So we've got a search warrant to search this property. Again, looking for any items of documentation of interest, specifically immigration related.
On the surface, Uni Visas is a legitimate legal firm giving advice to overseas applicants for UK visas. The team suspect it is a front for a racket producing fake documents to help thousands of people stay in the UK illegally. It isn't long before they discover just the sort of papers they're looking for.
I'm excited about that, mate.
Oh, yes. It looks as though these are applications for visas for Chinese nationals to come here and study English. That's what it appears to be, anyway. It's not something that a genuine student should need, any kind of immigration advisor. So why does this need to involve Uni Visas?
All very odd. The tissue of deceit continues.
In another room, there's more damning evidence with potentially alarming implications.
Another stamp for a company, obviously to legitimise fraudulent documents. As we found at the home address, you've got there's like fraudulent documentation for dentists and doctors, etc. If these people are successful, it does make you wonder: are these people working illegally in the medical industry? Are they looking after vulnerable people?
The apparent scale of Uni Visas' activities is even greater than the investigation team had suspected. And now, after a 3-hour trawl, the officers find evidence that leave little to the imagination. Sharma has emailed a supplier of fake educational documents on behalf of a client who wants to stay in the UK.
Fantastic, isn't it, Dave? Here we go. This is a little shopping list. We need a PG diploma for the following candidates.
Oh,
we need it ASAP.
He's not studied anywhere. He needs international graduate students, so we have to show some course.
That's fantastic.
That is the killer, isn't it? He's very fussy and wants some accredited UK qualification. Oh, fantastic.
He's clearly paid a bit more money for that.
That's what we've been waiting for, isn't it?
Brilliant.
He's not studied anywhere. He's been in the UK for 3 years, but his leave is running out, so he needs to get onto the IGS, is the International Graduate Scheme, and this is a scheme supposedly to keep quality graduates in the UK. They can switch into employment, so we have to show some course. Might be a diploma in business administration from July 05 to October 6, and then the postgraduate diploma. So clearly that's a request for a certificate so that it matches in with a fictional study history. But in the first sentence there, hasn't studied anywhere, so it's a lie to facilitate the person's permission to stay in the country.
Combine that with the stamps that they've got next door and the stamps from the home address, I think he'll be serving a long time in prison, quite honestly.
At the Royal India restaurant, the enforcement team have had to release 2 known offenders already on bail. Now it's time to deal with the 2 other illegal workers.
Okay, car pal, through here. You're now under arrest, okay, as a suspected immigration offender. Don't have to say anything you do say may be noted, may be used in evidence. Do you understand? You're under arrest, okay?
This man is in the UK as a tourist and says he's been here 2 weeks.
Yeah, he claims he came here with a visit visa just for a holiday, but he's now working. All his friends, families, relatives have probably been doing it, telling him, come to Britain, you know, and you can earn some good money. So they'll know how the system works. He's been doing it for years.
And the owner should know he can't employ a holiday maker from India, even if the man does just turn up at the door and offer to help.
So he came up to the back door, just wandered up to the back door and said, I've got a tourist visa, and that was it.
Well, he says, walked in and he says, can we help you out and all that, you know. I said, well, have you got other documents? You know, can you work and all that, you know. He said, I'll bring that tomorrow, like, you know.
Okay. Pay him any money?
No, I mean, like I say, it's only came in a couple hours ago, like, you know.
Right, Sharon, come this way, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you've been arrested, okay, because you on suspicion of being an immigration offender.
The owner also denies employing the waiter who has overstayed his tourist visa by more than 3 years.
Okay, this way, sir.
We're going this way, but you're going to do what we tell you to do, okay? Because what you must understand now is you're arrested.
Okay, no
Okay,
worries, sir.
right.
Sorry about that.
Relax, okay?
The team have found 4 illegal immigrants at the restaurant. They do not believe the owner's excuses and serve him notice that he could be fined up to £40,000.
4 males have been named on this, okay? None of them have permission to work in the UK. I understand you say they're not getting paid money, but any kind of employment, whether it be paid or unpaid, is still classed as working, and it's still illegal if they've got no permission to do so, okay?
Of all
Is
the
he okay to return
employees
to work,
found at the
this gentleman
restaurant, only one is entitled to work. He has indefinite leave to remain in the UK.
So many restaurants employ illegals, you know. And the thing is, you've got your status now. There's lots of people who have their status, but they can't find work, and it's hard for them. So that's what we're trying to do, protect the local population, people who are, you're entitled to work here, and there's other people like you who can't get a job. Okay, good luck then. You understand what we're doing.
Goodbye.
The team don't want to have to release on bail the 2 men they've arrested today, but in order to detain and remove them from the country, the officers must find their passports.
If we don't have a passport for him, we cannot remove him. We have to apply to Indian Embassy to try and get a travel document, which can take up to 6 months. We can't detain him for 6 months. So we release him, and what does he do? He goes straight back to work again.
The holidaymaker is cooperative and has given an address where he's staying with relatives.
Hi there, how are you doing? From Immigration Service. Can we come in and have a quick word with you?
Yeah.
Thanks, alright.
Thank you.
But the waiter is being less helpful. He claims to have lost his passport and he can't remember his own date of birth.
Why can't you remember your birthday?
Sorry?
Why can't you remember your own birthday?
Sorry, I don't know.
Are you telling me the truth?
Really, I'm telling you the truth. I can't remember it.
You said something about a date of birth on your passport. What do you mean by that? Why are you trying to remember the date of birth on your passport and not your own date of birth?
I can't remember that, sorry.
The man knows the less information he gives, the harder it is to remove him from the country. He has given an address where he claims to live, but he says he's never been given any keys.
This male has turned up for his first day of work today, wearing the clothes that we encountered him in, with only a mobile phone in his possession and the bus fare to get him to work this morning. I had no other possessions at the restaurant.
It's a common ruse. Illegal immigrants know that if they're arrested at work, officers won't have the warrant to forcibly enter and search their home for a passport.
There's nothing up here. All these sort of flats are owned by the owners of the restaurants, and they'll move the staff around. I've searched houses like this before where I've seen one bloke who's been actually living in a cupboard. But the reason why it's so transient is because they move from restaurant to restaurant, usually depending on whether they've been raided by immigration.
The team searching for travel documents for the holidaymaker have had more luck.
Okay. We've got a passport for the subject, which makes a big difference to us. Chances are we'll be keeping a hold of him and removing him back to India.
The passport reveals the man was twice refused a tourist visa to the UK. Having finally got one, he's been found working illegally after only 5 days in the country. The waiter's evasive tactics have paid off. All the team can do after questioning him is release him on bail until they have the papers needed to remove him from the country.
And that's why so many want to come here, because they know in Britain, they know how the system works. And, you know, it's not a good advert to deter people who aren't British not to come here, you know.
Okay, Karpal, watch out.
The holidaymaker is detained for 6 days before being removed back to India. For employing 4 illegal workers, the owner of the Royal India restaurant is fined £20,000. Coming up, the passenger at Heathrow with something to declare.
I have to follow the rules.
Yes, you have followed the rules, but the college has given me a deceit to me.
And a setback for the team going after the Sharmas missing millions.
30k, yeah, remitted by Neelam to India while they were in custody.
That's not good.
Most of the 70,000 people who arrive each day at Heathrow have a perfectly good reason to come to Britain, whether it's business, pleasure, or simply coming home. But some people are trying to get in and stay in the country illegally. Officer Lisa Lee is one of Heathrow's 1,700 UK border agency staff. Today, she stopped a student returning to Britain after spending 5 months back home in Pakistan.
Mr. Qureshi, you come with me. I have your ticket passport here, okay, sir? All right?
He says he's here to take exams, but a quick call to his college
can make a
throws
phone
his
call in
story
a
into
moment,
doubt.
but all right.
They say he's never attended at all. Officer Lee wants to search the passengers' bags as they might reveal what he's up to in the UK.
So how much is here?
2,080 pounds.
£2,080.
Yeah.
So you have a job here?
Yeah, I have a job there.
What were you doing here, sir?
A minicab office is a controller.
Controller in a minicab office.
Yeah.
As a student, the man is allowed to work, as long as it's only part-time. He's adamant his main reason for being here is to study. The only problem is, to be a genuine student, you need a genuine college.
I go to in my college in every day, but they are not studying him. They are only cashing the price. Please give me a gesture. It's my future.
Okay, so yeah. Well, we'll talk about that in a moment.
Yeah?
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment, your future, yeah?
Yeah. I'm a very hard worker student.
So I know you're anxious, I know you're nervous, but you need to wait for me, all right?
Please give me a gesture.
If you follow me.
Yeah.
He's very nervous. He's almost pleading with me to let him in.
Please give me a gesture. Please give me a gesture.
So as I said to you, I will talk to you in a moment, okay? He said a few things about his studies. I'm going every day, but they are not teaching or something. So I need to try and work out what he means. But he's clearly very worried. He actually asked me if I was going to deport him. And I said, well, I don't know what will happen yet. Just, bear with me and answer my questions.
The passenger is desperate to be heard. He wants Officer Lee to investigate his college.
Please give me justice. I am a real student. I am a hard worker.
Sir,
Yeah.
justice is a big word, all right? So you have to bear in mind that I have to follow the rules.
Yes, you have followed the rules, but the college has given me a deceit to me.
That's kind of interesting, isn't it? He's claiming that the college is bogus in that he was attending when he was meant to attend and they were not running classes. Now, they've said to us immediately, we rang them, he's never attended. The problem he's got is he stayed here for 6 months without doing any, appearing to do nothing, and is now saying he's coming back to find another college. So either he's not being completely honest or the college is fibbing.
Officer Lee must find out who is telling the truth. It seems the college is sticking to its guns, backing up its claims in writing.
What I have here is a fax from the college which says that he enrolled on a 12-month course for an advanced diploma in business admin, which should have commenced last March 2008. They claim to have written to him concerning his poor attendance, but they never received any response, and so they've removed him from their register, which essentially means he has no place to study. So now we need to get to the bottom of his allegations as well. Mr. Qureshi?
And to make sure his allegations are understood, the passenger has asked for an interpreter.
How long did you attend the college for?
On and off jata raha us
For
college.
6 months I went on and off.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't teach anything there.
Fees le li thi.
And they took my tuition fees off me.
How much did you pay them?
1600 pound.
£1,600.
Okay, we spoke to your college and they gave us this.
उन्होंने ये फैक्स भेजा था, ठीक है? मैं पढ़ के बताऊं?
हाँ. तो मैं इनके कॉलेज जाता जब पढ़ाई नहीं होती.
He said, I'm saying to you, you investigate this college.
और मैंने इनका कोई लेटर रिसीव नहीं किया.
There are absolutely no classes that go on, and I haven't received any letter from them.
Okay, the difficulty I have is that you were here for 6 months and you did nothing about this college.
ख़त्म ही ना करा दे.
They had my money.
और ये मुझसे ज़्यादा पैसे और मांग रहे थे.
And they were asking me for more money. I didn't have any further access to any funds, and I was afraid that they were going to report me to the Home Office and removed me.
When you arrived today, you told me that you were coming back to continue your studies and that you would take exams in March. Why would you say that if you're not going to attend that college?
Study करूँगा ये मुझे ना रोके.
Eventually, I would have enrolled at a different college, but in the meantime, I didn't want to be stopped by immigration.
So you lied?
हाँ जी मैं.
Yes, I did.
So you sought to secure your entry to the UK by employing deception.
करता और मैं क्या
If I had no money, I had no other way.
सारी लाइफ मेहनत पे गुजरी है.
I've always worked hard.
मेरे फादर किडनी के ट्रांसप्लांट पेशेंट हैं.
My father's a kidney transplant patient.
और my mother is old.
And my mother is old.
मैं उनका अकेला बेटा हूँ.
I'm their only son.
मेरे बाप को हार्ट अटैक हो जाएगा.
He goes, in any sense, I'm not going to go back because my father will have an heart attack.
क्योंकि मुझे वो बर्बाद मत करें, मेहरबानी करें.
He's saying, don't ruin me, help me.
If the passenger is to avoid being sent back home, he needs Officer Lee to believe his allegations.
Come on, follow me.
And to accept that he's here to find a new college. Jatinda Sharma and his wives, Neelam and Raki, have been in custody for the last 6 months awaiting trial. They are accused of submitting fraudulent visa applications on behalf of foreign nationals hoping to work in Britain. DC Cornwell and his team have sifted through 90,000 seized documents and have unearthed the biggest immigration scam ever seen in this country. Sharma and his wives forged papers to secure visas for more than 1,000 people through their company, Uni Visas.
Uni Visas have generated income tax return forms, they've generated education forms, and they've also generated pay slips and employment records.
And there's proof the rubber stamps found at the Uni Visas office have been used to endorse the bogus documents.
So that's the stamp, Office of the Joint Income Tax Officer, which is this stamp here. Now our scientists have studied that impression and the stamp, and they've concluded that there is no doubt the stamp has made that impression.
Uni Visas charged would-be foreign workers up to £4,000 a time for fake documents to back up their applications. The police believe the company may have raked in more than £3 million, most of it still unaccounted for. It's down to DC Andy Cornwell and DC Simon Prothero-Jones to track down the missing money. Today they are at court where Sharma, Raki and Neelam are due for a plea hearing. All three have already pleaded not guilty, but they have good reason to change their minds.
The judge has made it clear that today is the last day that a discounted sentence is on offer, and without a doubt for all the defendants, any discount which they get from an early plea is going to be substantial. We are talking years off their sentence. As a result of that, things are getting fairly heated in there between the defence teams and the prosecutor. It is very fraught, but there's a lot at stake.
Raki and Neelam stick with their pleas of not guilty, but Jatinda Sharma tries to strike a deal with the prosecution. He's willing to plead guilty on one condition.
He was prepared to plead guilty provided we excluded his house in Southall from any sort of cash confiscation. That kind of set us thinking, really. Why is he so concerned about his house? It led us to sort of muse that perhaps there's a load of cash stored somewhere in that house, which is why he doesn't want the house the subject of any confiscation. And the hoolie bar, the enforcer.
The only way to find out is to go back to Sharma's house to take a closer look.
And it would appear that their business over the 18 months it was running has turned over probably £3 million. Now if you look at that and we say maybe £1 million of that has gone in expenditure over the 18 months, we've frozen assets in their bank accounts of 400,000, so that leaves us short 1.6 million.
We've got a warrant to search the address, okay?
The reason we're back at the home address today pretty much is that we're looking for anything which could have been missed. It could be as simple as a big pile of money underneath the floorboards. It could be bank documents relating to an account which we didn't know, accounts, shares, stocks in somebody else's name, anything which is going to lead us to the outstanding funds. I still think there's a lot more money in this house somewhere, so we're going to go back in, lift floorboards if we have to, go up into the loft, lift the insulation, just
absolutely every nook and cranny. You've got to look around at the house around us. It's a state. Here's a man that had hundreds of thousands of pounds in the bank. This one house, with a very limited amount of equity in, is what he's desperate to keep hold of. Why is he so desperate to keep hold of a house which is literally filthy and falling down?
You know, I mean,
ripping out floorboards and insulation doesn't reveal the cash the team are looking for.
Oh, oxygen, fresh air.
I don't know about
But opening post addressed to Neelam unearths bank accounts the team didn't know about.
Punjab National Bank. We found a bank account in the name of Neelam. This account, which we weren't aware of up until now, contains just over £20,000. So that's of interest. And again, there's another 40, 50, 60,000 pounds at least. So she alone has the best part of £250,000 in her bank accounts.
The arrest of Neelam does not appear to have stopped large sums of money being moved between her accounts.
30k, remitted by Neelam to India. So that explains we're another 30,000. Well, 30,000 on this one statement.
Transferred into another of her bank accounts, or?
Yeah, interesting though. The last one was on the 17th of the 12th, 08.
17th of the 12th?
Yeah.
While they were in custody?
While they were in custody.
That's not good.
Even though Neelam has been in prison awaiting trial, some of the illegally gained money in her accounts has been squirreled away in Indian banks. But there is still over £1 million missing.
This search here has been worth its weight in gold, literally to us. We immediately traced tens and tens of thousands of pounds. I suspect once I take all this paperwork away with me, sit down at a desk and go through it in a lot more detail, it may well help me trace hundreds of thousands of pounds, and that's getting towards the sort of figures that we're looking for.
We've had a fantastic result, really. I'm pleased. Jatinda's pleaded to absolutely everything. I know he's guilty. He knows he's guilty. He's finally done the decent thing and admitted it.
There is a real sense of satisfaction of actually seeing Jatinda stand in the dock in the court and finally admit his guilt. You know, he has done all of this stuff wrong. He's lived a good life out of it. He's made an enormous amount of money.
Hugely satisfying, but still a lot of work to do.
The officers still have the painstaking job of preparing for a trial. It will be for a jury to decide whether Rocky and Neelam helped Sharma to perpetrate Britain's biggest visa scam. Coming up, things get desperate for the Pakistani student at Heathrow.
Please help me.
I can't do anything, sir, okay? The rules are there for a reason.
And the verdict is in for the Sharks. At Heathrow, the Pakistani student is waiting to hear if he can come into Britain. At first, he said he was here to take exams. Now he's accused his college of being bogus and claims his intention is to find a new college. Officer Lee refers the case to Chief Immigration Officer Sarah Dyson.
He can't explain why in the 6 months that he was here before going to Pakistan, he has made no serious attempt to re-enroll or to find another college.
Well, I mean, I think just by doing that impacts on his credibility, doesn't it? And whilst he says, no, this college are just taking money off me, they've never provided me with any lessons, I don't think that's a good enough argument.
No.
And that shows that he's not a genuine student who's committed to studying in the UK. And also he lied. As soon as he got to the desk out there, he gave a complete rubbish story,
Just to
didn't
secure
he?
his entry.
To secure his entry. So you have to question his intentions, don't you?
Yeah. Hey, sir, I need to have a chat with you, okay? Come with me. Okay, my Chief Immigration Officer has decided that we are going to cancel your visa. This is because we're not satisfied that you have been making any attempt to study in the UK. And that you lied when you came to the desk on arrival, yeah?
पानी ले आओ मेरे साथ पहले धोखा हुआ है
He goes, I've been deceived before.
मैं घर गया हूँ इसी के लिए
That's why I went home. He goes, if there's any studying going at that college.
I am going to write a report. From the information you've given me, I will make sure that is passed on to our college, the people that look at colleges, okay? So they will be looked into, I can promise you that. Yeah?
Please help me.
I can't do anything, sir, okay? The rules are there for a reason. I can't just permit you to come into the UK as a student because you're not a student. You never have been. You must understand the reason why we have to enforce the rules. It's hard to say whether he's been a victim or not, from the fact that he maintained throughout the interview that he'd paid money in good faith and had not received what he'd paid for, that he may well have been a victim. The minute we then contact the college concerned, it could be that they didn't want us investigating them, so they've denied all knowledge of him. Who's to say who's telling the truth and who isn't? It's just the bare facts are that he didn't study when he was given a visa to study. That's why it's been cancelled.
The passenger was detained overnight and put on a flight back to Pakistan the next day. Officer Lee handed the information about the suspected bogus college over to colleagues in the investigation team. It's been more than a year since the UK Border Agency and police raided the offices of Uni Visas and discovered fraud against the Home Office on a massive scale. Company boss Jatinda Sharma has already pleaded guilty.
Well, Alice, one of the many striking things about this case is the arrogance of the man who ran the scam. He was so confident he could get you into this country illegally. He offered clients a no-win, no-fee option.
Today, after a 4-week trial, the jury is expected to deliver their verdict on Sharma's wives, Neelam and Rocky.
Raki, she's offered a number of defences. You know, if one fails, we'll try the other. If that fails, we'll try the other. First of all, I didn't know anything about anything. But then, if I did know, or if the jury believe I did know about it, then I'm going to offer a defence of marital coercion. Neelam's defence is just, at the time, I wasn't aware of any wrongdoing. If it happened, and she has kind of accepted it did happen, then it's down to Raki and Jatinda.
It's for the jury to decide if they're telling the truth. By gambling on a trial, the women risk receiving tougher sentences if found guilty. It takes 4 days of deliberation before the jury reaches a majority decision.
We've had a brilliant result today. We've now had all verdicts returned on Raki and Neelam. Neelam was convicted on the money laundering charge. Raki was convicted on everything, all of the charges against her. We've just come out of court. Jatinda's been in the dock with them, and all 3 have been sentenced.
The jury accepts that Neelam was not behind the fraud, but she is sentenced to 4 years in prison for laundering some of the £3 million that poured into Uni Visas. Raki conspired with Sharma to defraud the Home Office by submitting bogus visa applications. She is sentenced to 8 years in prison. Jatinda Sharma is given credit for his early plea and is sentenced to 7 years. Thanks to their criminal activity, there could be thousands of people in the UK who are not entitled to be here.
Uni Visas is obviously an immigration consultancy. There are hundreds of those operating throughout the capital and throughout the country, and a lot of those will be running similar sort of scams. So what we've really dealt with over the last 12, 13 months is I believe, the tip of the iceberg.
It's been a long and complex investigation, but it's not over yet. There's still the missing money to track down and seize. As for Jatinda Sharma and his 2 wives, they'll be deported to India after they've served their sentences. 25,000 men and women work for the UK Border Force. At home and abroad, their job is to seek out the lawbreakers and imposters who don't have a right to be. They are the UK Border Force. Tonight, inside an immigration removal centre, a chartered flight for illegal immigrants,
It's Immigration Service.
a surprise raid on a Chinese takeaway,
You're under arrest. Watch your head.
and the man who thinks this immigration officer should be doing something better.
All I want to say, I don't want to waste your time.
Listen, I'm getting paid to do this, so you're not wasting my time. I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Calais. In 2008, UK border agency teams found 20,000 people hiding in trucks headed for Britain. That's around 55 every day.
Yeah, go look in the back, please.
It's estimated there are 1,500 immigrants living rough in Calais, many of whom are children. They make frequent attempts to creep aboard the freight trucks. Most live in the jungle, a forested area a few miles from the port. Others camp right outside the perimeter fence, waiting for the right moment to sneak onto a lorry. Today, Officer Maggie Woodard rushes to the berths, the place where lorries wait just before boarding the ferry.
We've just had a phone call from our colleagues down at the berths, so we're going to go down there, assist with the possibility of clandestines being found inside. Well, it's two.
The clandestines have been found using CO2 probes that detect human breath.
Has that got the...
My colleagues who were working down here probed this lorry and they got a high reading. They opened it up and they found these two illegals on the side of the lorry. We're just trying to get them out now.
One chance. One chance. Tomorrow, more chance.
We've spoken to the driver. He said his last stop was at Belgium, but we think he also mentioned a 15-minute stop just along the road for diesel, so it's more than likely they are from the jungle originally.
Officer Foley discovers they used a familiar method to break into the truck.
Right, we've opened the trailer up, and it looks like we've got a tilt cord here that the driver could have used. In addition with the seal, would have sorted this whole problem out for him, wouldn't have been in there.
The driver failed to tie down and lock the canvas sides of his freight.
It looks like when the driver was stopped, someone's opened up the side for them, they've scooted in, and then someone's done all the hooks back up again. Once they've got in, the driver's none the wiser. I would say 95% of the time, there's got to be someone that's sealed the vehicle back up after them.
How old?
Where do you want to go?
England.
Why England?
England. Good. Good England.
These clandestines aren't alone in thinking England holds the answer to their dreams. For them, it's the place to find work and start a new life. They'll keep on trying to defy the locking systems. On this occasion, the driver and his company were fined £1,300 for failing to secure the freight.
England good.
Two gentlemen, maybe again tomorrow. They keep saying one chance for today. They'll know, they'll just keep trying. They'll willingly admit to us that they're going to keep trying until we get to England.
The areas where lorries are searched are called the lanes. Here, Officer Barrett has a high reading on his CO2 probe and has opened up the lorry.
We could smell, as soon as we came in, the smell of clandestine.
There's another clue clandestines are aboard, the distinct aroma of people who've been living rough.
It's like the bonfire sort of smell. Quite distinctive once you've sampled it a few times.
Mark, what have we got?
There's all different, one's claimed to be Syrian, Afghan and Iranian.
This mixed international cargo is unusual, as most clandestines travel in groups of fellow countrymen.
Makes the job more rewarding because that's what we're here to do, to prevent clandestines entering the UK.
Just one at a time, Judith.
Yeah.
And this is what the job's about.
Just as it's becoming another routine operation, one of the men becomes hostile.
Stay, you guys. Hey, Snuff, stay. No, you stay. Okay, camera goes. You stay here. Okay, you stay here. Sit down. Wait.
12?
Might be best to stop filming like this. They're just starting to get a bit agitated, so it might be best to take the camera away just for a second.
The cameras back off to let the men calm down.
For whatever reason, he decided that he didn't want to be on camera, I think, and next one. Yeah, the easiest way to get rid of the camera is to kick off and get everybody to react. And there's always one, there's generally a ringleader who will take charge, who's been here before and knows how it works, so they follow him. Yeah, after you. No one chance, not today, tomorrow. One chance tomorrow. He's very smiley.
Most clandestines are resigned to being caught and openly tell the officers how they got in.
That last one that just came out said that they entered through the side of the vehicle and there's no tilt cord on it.
So again? If the driver had properly secured his freight, it could have stopped the clandestines from boarding. He was fined £1,200.
Sometimes you do get some people, like clandestines, that they tend to get a bit irritable if they come through again and again and again and get found all the time. But it's only the few. I mean, most of them are, try again tomorrow.
Coming up, tears at Heathrow.
We've made the decision. I'm not going to run away. I just want to have a shower. At this moment, you are inadmissible to the UK.
Inside an immigration removal centre, the man who wants a tax return.
I'm going to get a move from England. I want all my taxes back.
And the London enforcement team spoiled dinner.
Right, guys, anyone speak English?
At the outskirts of Heathrow is Colnbrook Immigration Removal Centre. It has the same security as a Category B prison. It holds 400 men in 2 sections. One section is long-term. Many in here are foreign nationals who have already served a prison sentence. Once their sentence is over, they are brought here to wait for their paperwork to be completed so they can be sent home. This can be complicated, and some have been here for years. Governments in some countries are reluctant to have people back with serious criminal records. There is also a short-term section. This holds illegal immigrants for up to a week. Many here have been caught by enforcement teams and are from countries that are easier to negotiate with for their return. Colnbrook's UK Border Agency office is where the removal papers are processed. Officer Raza is about to meet an Algerian man who has just completed a prison sentence.
Are you Farid? You alright? Okay. He was convicted of a crime in the UK. He was sentenced to 16 months for robbery and attempted robbery. So he's now obviously under immigration, being detained under immigration powers. I'm just going to give you your deportation order. You will be required to leave and you're prohibited from entering the UK again as long as this order is enforced. Okay? That's all for you? Okay? I've seen Farid before, so I mean, I know what he's like. He tends to cooperate fairly well with immigration because he wants to go back to Algeria as soon as possible anyway.
Hello lads, if you just take a seat on the far side, thank you.
Officer Chima is about to see an illegal immigrant from Kosovo. The man was sent here after being arrested in a late-night brawl. The police discovered he was here illegally and handed him to immigration.
All right, Mr. Lulad, my name is Mr. Chima. I work here for the Home Office. Do you understand why you're being detained here?
Well, somehow, yes.
Okay. Just to keep it brief, as you know, you were detained as someone who's to be removed from the UK. You have a flight back to Kosovo, Albania, on the 14th of May, which is next Thursday. Yeah. That's your flight itinerary there. That is your factual summary, giving you a history of your case and also who's in charge of your case. So if you let your solicitor know what's happened, you can do so.
I don't have a solicitor, no, nothing.
Okay. There is a list of duty solicitors available here for you. You can speak to the officers.
I just want to go back.
Okay, that's fine.
The street fighter won't have long to wait. He'll be sent home
Just
next
sign
week
here, please.
on a specially chartered flight.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Officer Chima will speak to another Kosovan he wants to put on the same flight.
Mr. Jusufi had been here since 1998, so he's been here a long time. And we're going to serve removal directions on him. He came here claiming asylum also. His asylum claim was dismissed. In that time, he's been working.
He arrived in 1998 and claimed asylum.
Mr. Jusufi, you take a seat on the far side, thank you.
6 years later,
Take a
his
seat over there, thank
application
you.
was refused.
Yes, please.
He absconded but was arrested in an enforcement raid at a
Right,
pizza
Mr. Jusufi, my name is
restaurant
Mr.
in
Chima.
April
I work here for the Home
2009.
Office. Do you understand why you're being detained?
Yes, I do.
Okay, just to make it brief, you have a removal set back to Kosovo for the 14th of May, which is next Thursday.
Yeah.
That's your flight itinerary for you there.
Yeah.
This is also for you, just a case history of your time you arrived to the time of your detention.
Quite a long time.
Yeah?
He's settled in Britain and feels the country owes him a debt.
Because I've been working here with my papers for almost more than 10 years. Yeah?
Right.
And I've been paying tax fine for this country.
Right.
I want all my taxes back here.
Right.
Because I'm going to be able to move from England. I want all my taxes back.
Mhm.
Because I was working in my name. I didn't work in the other names. All the time in my name. And I've got a house in England as well. I got a flat here.
Right. All I'll suggest...
That's why. And I got my fiance here. I didn't get anything from government, any income. So
I appreciate what you're saying, Mr. Jusufi. However, it isn't going to change that you will be removed at this point. So all I can say is you should speak to a legal representative and he'll be able to advise you on that. When the guy was talking about tax, we've had a few of those questions before. It's something that we don't get involved in. We'll tell them to take legal advice on it. But technically speaking, they've been here illegally, so they can't get their tax backdated in any way.
The two Kosovan prisoners will join 24 other Kosovans and Albanians on the flight chartered by UK Border Agency.
This is a regular thing that the UK Border Agency do. These charter flights have been planned and they happen on a fortnightly or on a monthly basis to specifically remove Kosovan and Albanian nationals back to that part of Europe.
It's one of 70 flights a year used for removing illegal immigrants. In 2008, over 1,500 were sent home this way. Many of those in Colnbrook were picked up by enforcement teams like this one. Officer Shane Healy is planning a raid on a Chinese takeaway.
We're going to the... Intelligence suggests that possible immigration offenders are working from this address, and previous visits to this kind of establishment have led to the arrests of failed asylum seekers and immigration offenders. So we'll go straight away.
In 2008, enforcement teams carried out 13,000 raids, resulting in over 10,000 arrests. The target today is a takeaway serving the locals of the well-heeled area of West Hampstead.
We're here. Right, let's go. Immigration Service, you want to come inside for us? It's Immigration Service. Can you all want to come around this area for me? Put down what you're doing. Has that been clear downstairs? Yeah? Hi, from the Immigration Service. Okay, we're just here doing checks on people today. Actually, have a seat, yeah? You're right. We're immigration officers.
There are 9 employees. Officers check their immigration status.
Have you got a passport? What type of passport have you got? You carry it about with you? Yeah. That's going to be fine. Lady's produced her passport to me. It's a valid passport. It's got a valid student visa in here, so she's got leave to remain in the UK.
Where's your passport? Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he's told me who he is. He's told me his story and stuff. Checked on our computer database, verified it from a copy of his passport. It's all fine. He's a British citizen.
The workers prove they are allowed to work in Britain, except for one. He applied for asylum, but was turned down.
Okay, those you have got. You as well.
All right, okay. He sought an application to remain here on the basis of his nationality and problems back home. That application's been looked at and it's been refused. He was asked, as a result of him being illegal in this country, to sign on at our office, which he's failed to do since 2004. Well, listen, you're under arrest. You don't have to say anything. but it may harm his defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court.
The man is a failed asylum seeker hiding from the immigration authorities. Officers will now take the man to his home address to find his passport so they can remove him from the country. Without it, they will have to ask for emergency travel documents from the Chinese government, and they could face difficulties convincing them he's from their country.
The gentleman that then is arrested got his address, so we are going to go there and search for a document. Without a document, the likelihood of removing him is very unlikely, so we are going to go and search for a passport now.
Heathrow, Terminal 3. It carries over 30,000 passengers every day. That's over 10 million a year. Today at passport control is immigration officer Sheetal Patel.
Hi there. Travelling alone? Yeah?
She's about to check a woman who's just arrived from South Africa.
I'm just going to ask you a few questions about your stay here, yeah? How long are you going to be here? 3 months. 3 months. So immediately today, where will you be going?
I've got one friend picking me up from the airport, so I will be staying with you, or I will be staying with my other friends or from South Africa as well.
Okay. So your friend that's picking you up, is he just a friend?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Miss Thomas, I have got some inquiries to make, okay? So I just need to take this. Take a seat for me. You'll be here with us until I finish conducting those inquiries, okay? Matt, got a referral for you. Okay, we've got a South African female. She's just coming in. She says she wants to come in for 3 months, but she's just finished a 2-year working holiday. And she's only been away from the country for a month. She says she'll be going to Scotland, Ireland, visit other South African friends that she has here.
So in 2 years here, she just didn't get around to seeing Scotland and Wales?
And Ireland and Wales, yeah.
Doesn't hang together. The idea of a working holiday is that you have a holiday and you do a bit of incidental work.
Exactly.
And that in 2 years, you should,
You should
pretty
have
much
seen
be able to
what
see
you
what you
wanted
need
to
to
see,
see.
yeah.
So then to come back for another holiday on top of that makes me think that there's something here that's more important than back there.
A 2-year working holiday visa allows 1 year of work and 1 year of holiday.
Right, just come with me this way.
The South African woman has already had one of these visas, and now she's back just 1 month later.
Yeah?
Officer Patel wants to find out if the friend waiting to pick up the passenger is just a friend. But it seems being stopped by immigration is all too much for her.
I know you're upset, but it's just, I just have to...
I feel alone now, and I just want hours with her mom.
Do you want to give her a call? Do you want me to give...
She's at work now. I
Okay.
just want to go home. I don't even want to be here.
Just grab your bags.
Although the passenger appears to have given up the fight, Officer Patel investigates further to assess her
round to the
status.
right.
First, she calls the passenger's friend waiting in arrivals.
Hi Tom, my name is Sheetal. I'm an immigration officer at Heathrow Airport. Hi there. Are you meeting anyone today? Okay, just to let you know, she's currently being held with immigration. We do have some further inquiries that we need to conduct. Is it all right if I have a quick chat with you? And how is it that you know her? You just know through friends. Are you just friends or are you in a relationship? You're in a relationship, thank you. Okay then, thank you. Bye-bye. So it turns out that the gentleman downstairs, Tom, is the passenger's boyfriend. And when I asked the passenger if it's a boyfriend or a friend, she stated that he is just a friend. To have a boyfriend in the UK creates a stronger tie than just to have friends in the UK. So it gives her that extra thing to want to come back for. So not sure why she would have said on the desk that it's not a boyfriend, but that's what we need to find out.
The passenger has lied about who was picking her up. With a boyfriend here, Officer Patel suspects a short visit might turn into something more permanent.
As soon as the deception starts, that's when our alarm bells start ringing. And, it's just that, have you got more to hide? Is there more to this than you're letting on? Previous payslip from when she was here on her working holiday.
Officer Patel and her boss, Matt Dyson, look for other clues to find out why she wants to come to the UK. They discover a payslip.
£500 fortnightly, that's not bad.
That's sure she's worked full time for that whole year.
Okay.
So that's not good.
So we just need to find out if she worked full time for the other year as well.
Where is it?
Her working holiday
Finished her
visa
working
would have
holiday.
allowed her to work
Previous
12 months
payslip
of her
from when
2-year
she
stay.
was.
In this case, what we've got so far is there's a payslip there which appears to indicate, unless she was earning an enormous amount for a little bit of work, that she probably worked the whole of the last tax year, the one that we've just completed. Now, that means she's done all her work basically in that period. Now, do we really believe that in the first year she was here she did nothing at all? Well, that's unlikely, because let's be honest, if you're a working holidaymaker on a 2-year working holiday, you're not going to sit around and not work for a whole year and then just do it at the end, because your financial constraints are the same at the beginning as they are at the end, pretty much.
Good morning, my name is Sheetal. I'm an immigration officer at Heathrow Airport. Can I
Officer
possibly speak
Patel
to a
calls
manager,
the restaurant
please?
where the passenger has been working.
So she started 25th of June 2007 and departed 26th of Feb, did you say? 2009. Okay.
The manager says the woman worked over 20 months at the restaurant, 8 more than her visa allowed.
It just goes to show that she had a disregard for the restrictions that was put on her. When you do get your working holiday, you are told it's 1 year's holiday, 1 year's work, and she's abused that. Once you've used something once, you can't be trusted that you're not going to do it again. That's the thing. I've just made a phone call, and they tell me that you were employed from the 25th of June 2007 to the 26th of Feb 2009.
Okay.
Yeah? So that's 20 months.
Okay.
Yeah? Do you understand what that means?
No.
Right. When you were given your working holiday visa, you were told how long you can work for.
Yeah.
And how long were you told?
A year.
Okay. So we've now found out that in fact, you worked for over that time, which means that you breached the restrictions given to you on your working holiday. So after speaking to Tom, he's told me that, like I asked you at the desk, are you in a relationship or is he just your friend? And you told me he's your friend. But when I asked him, he says he's in a relationship with you. So who's right, who's wrong?
I mean, if you want to go into a relationship, then that's
Okay.
what you want to call
What do you call it?
a thing.
Okay. So
I would say we're friends.
So you guys have been together as friends, and now you're coming back to see him.
Not necessarily him, but he
Okay.
knows that.
Okay. After speaking to him, he says that you guys are in a relationship. Why would he say that? Because he says he's actually discussed plans with you and stuff.
I don't know. I don't know.
The passenger is trying to make light of her relationship. For the chief, it doesn't wash.
You can have a certain amount of sympathy when someone's dreams are not going to go or come to fruition this week, but she has told lies.
Yeah. And she's done it once. We don't know if she's going to do it again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She can go home first available flight, please.
Come on then. I'll tell you what's happening, right? We've made the decision and you've been refused entry today.
Just let me stay 1 week, and then just let me. After 1 week, I swear on my mother's life, I will go.
Your removal flight is this evening, okay? Your removal flight is tonight at 8:30. At this moment, you are inadmissible to the UK. Therefore, we can't let you go anywhere. So, unfortunately, you have to stay with us in detention until your flight. But as far as taking you anywhere and put you anywhere else, I can't do that, I'm afraid. It doesn't stop you from coming back. You can still come back. You just need to.
I would never want to come
That's
back
fine.
here.
That's fine.
Never.
That's for you.
The passenger was put on a flight to South Africa later that evening. Coming up, the passenger who doesn't want to go home.
Right, guys, well, this woman that's coming out, she's pretty volatile. We may have to offer some more formal help to get her on the aircraft.
The hunt for the passport with the London enforcement team.
We want your passport. Your passport? One part of the job I hate.
And the student who obeys the rules twice a week.
And you've worked 20 hours a week for Asda, and you've worked 20 hours a week for William Hill. So, how many hours in total did you work?
Roughly 40 hours.
Just to see if there's any recovery.
The London enforcement team raided a Chinese takeaway and arrested a failed asylum seeker found working there. The team want his passport so they can remove him from the country. They've driven him back to his house to pick it up.
Let's go. Just so everyone's aware, there's children on the premises.
It appears there is a family living there.
Is that wife? Yeah.
The man failed to tell the officers he was married with children.
Excuse me. All right, okay. That's your wife, yeah?
Yeah.
Upstairs, officers are met with another surprise.
Right, guys. Anyone speak English? None of
A
you.
tiny
Right,
room
Ruth,
with
come
6
sit down for
beds
me.
and
Speak
4
any
men
English at
about
all.
to eat dinner.
Mandarin or Cantonese?
And with some nationalities, you find an awful lot of people to one room. We've done a visit, well, years back now, but we found 47 Chinese in one 3-bedroom house.
The reason why we're here, okay? We want your passport. You have a passport?
It's ID, yes.
ID. Where?
Yeah, go on then. Tell me if there's any. Oh, baby. Oh, you got baby as well? Oh, okay, one in the oven.
The man's wife is pregnant with a second
Oh,
child.
very nice. No, don't you do that if you're pregnant. You shouldn't be picking up boxes if you're pregnant. All right.
Come on, sit down.
No, just sit down.
Okay, thank you.
Go on, sit down.
Anyone in the house speak English? Anyone in the house?
You speak a little bit of English, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you understand? You understand. You've been here a long time. You do understand a little bit. Listen. Right, listen to the officer, okay?
You've been here 10 years.
You understand a little bit of English, okay?
Hello? Yeah, hiya.
Home Office
I'm from the
checks
Immigration
reveal
Service,
his
UK.
wife is also a failed
Hiya.
asylum
I just need to explain
She
to
keeps
this
to
guy.
her bail conditions by
All right, no
reporting
problem.
regularly, but her
Yeah,
husband
yeah,
has
that's
not
good.
reported in
All right,
years.
no problem. They've both been asked to sign at the same office. She was only once a month and she's signing on. She's heavily pregnant, still makes it. He's able and doesn't. He's not told us about his wife and kids. You know, these are all relevant to us making a fair decision. You know, when was he going to tell us? When he was getting on a plane? Absolutely ridiculous. Makes a mockery of the whole system.
The husband and wife claim they don't have passports. The enforcement team have heard this before.
One part of the job I hate is searching.
I enjoy it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Back upstairs, it's a tight squeeze as officers check Home Office records on the 4 men.
We've got 4 Chinese gentlemen in this bedroom. They've produced us with their ARC cards, which is asylum registration cards. We're going to check on our system, see what state their applications are in, and go from there.
The discovery of asylum registration cards should mean the Home Office will have details on file.
Hello, Vicky. We're in a house full of Chinese. Could you do some checks, please?
The 3 men claimed asylum on entry into Britain.
Charlie Alpha India.
They were given temporary release, and by the time their asylum
Warehouse,
claims were
is it,
refused, they had all absconded. The 4th man entered Britain on the back of a lorry.
Could you explain to him he's now under arrest as someone liable to be detained?
They are arrested to be questioned further and have their fingerprints taken. The team cannot find the passports to help remove the family from the country. It could take months to sort out emergency travel documents.
Right, we're going to release you, okay? That's not because you've been a good person. It's only because you've got a pregnant wife and child here. Right, but it's important that you come in and sign on with your wife.
He's got to act responsibly now for his family and start signing on with his wife every month.
The man and his wife are currently reporting as instructed.
That's why I'm on a guard, man.
The 4 men arrested upstairs were later released on condition they appear every 2 weeks at a reporting centre. They reported once before absconding again. At a location near Gatwick, a private security firm is gearing up for a big operation. While most of Britain sleeps, team leader Alan Mackay briefs his 68 custody officers on Operation Aardvark.
Right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Operation Aardvark 355. We'll be returning 26 detainees to either Albania or Kosovo. We have 3 coaches going two to Colnbrook and 1 to Brook House, and then we have a van going up to Yarlswood.
Colnbrook Immigration Removal Centre. Officers wait for the detainees for an early morning flight.
Morning, Mr. Hassan. You know what's happening today? I'm down. Give us a quick search.
I was waiting because I waited for court.
Mr. Lulaj, morning. You know what's happening, don't you?
President.
Excellent.
I can't wait.
Excellent.
I want to go home now.
The Kosovan man arrested in a street fight has shaved his head.
Search you outside. Fly back soon.
Be back soon.
The coaches arrive carrying the custody officers.
Our job primarily is to take them from the custody of the immigration removal centre. They'll then be taken into our custody. Then they're brought out of the centre and onto the coaches for transportation. It's fair to say that the vast majority of these guys are they've had fair warning that they will be removed from the country. They've made their arrangements. The majority of them are happy to go. Occasionally we may get somebody that's not quite so cooperative, but you know, we try our best.
They will pick up illegal immigrants from 2 other removal centres and will rendezvous at the airport at 8 a.m. Most of the detainees have been caught working illegally, but some have served time in prison for violent offences.
There's a good rapport between the staff and those in our custody, and we like to keep it that way. We like to make sure that we build up a relationship, a bit of sense of humour, and talk about football, find something in common. Yeah.
Today, UK Border Agency have chartered an entire plane to deport them.
Okay, they're coming on. This is where the staff come into their own really, and they start to ease tensions and de-escalate any problems that they may see arising. Nobody's going to be removed forcibly unless they resist the removal.
Just as the last few take their seats, there is a problem with a woman who doesn't want to board. The flight can't leave without her.
She's pretty volatile. Let the girls deal with it. I want you guys we want a cordon around the van. Yeah? Let the girls deal with it, please. All right, guys. We've got a female detainee that's reluctant to get on the aircraft. The girls are talking to her now. We're trying to persuade her that the best option really is to go along with us. Unfortunately, it may be that we may have to offer some more formal help to get her on the aircraft. Slowly does it, girls. Slowly does it. Slowly does it.
Alright, you right then? Can we take it here or?
Take the head.
Yeah.
It's a delicate situation for the team already on board. They don't want to unnerve any of the other passengers.
She's afraid of flying. She's scared of being on an airplane. So at the minute, we'll give her some tablets to calm her down. That's all it is. She's an elderly lady and she's scared.
The illegal immigrants are escorted back home by 56 custody officers. 4 Kosovans will go to Pristina and the rest to Tirana in Albania. When the officers return, they will need to start preparing for the next chartered flight to a different destination in a few days' time. Passport control, Heathrow, Terminal 3. A passenger is taken to have his bags searched. Officer Hassler wants to know why he has come to the UK.
Just been handed this case. It's a returning student on a Pakistani passport. The issue we've got is that he's known to us for having a UK residence permit refused.
I'm afraid.
The residence permit was an international graduate scheme work permit, also known as an IGS. It was refused because his education certificates were from a UK college listed as bogus.
What he's then done, he's then reapplied for a new student residence permit. So the question is, we've got somebody who was studying, who in fact wants to work here, was refused a work permit, but is now then gone and reapplied as a student visa, which is strange to say the least.
The man has just 4 days left on his original student visa. If he's allowed in, he can immediately apply for a new IGS work permit. The application process will give him up to 3 months extra time in the UK, much longer than the 4 days left on his current visa, even if the application is refused.
Okay, we're just going to take you to another area now, okay? Well, I need to do your fingerprints and also need to take a picture of you as well, yeah?
Yes.
So what I'm going to explain to you, right, you've been held up at the moment. There's insufficient reliable information for me to decide whether to grant you entry, okay? And at the moment, you've given unsatisfactory answers to the questions given by the original officer on the control, okay? Okay, what other documentation have you got here that I can have a look at whilst we're here?
Most foreign travellers on visas bring with them
what's this
a
for?
few supporting documents. This man has brought hundreds.
So you refused?
That was a work permit, basically.
IGS, yeah?
IGS, it is.
So I mean, this is an awful lot of documentation, but you do tend to find certain nationalities will carry their documentation with them. Like I say, this is a great deal, so it just makes my job a little bit harder to sift through it all and find what's relevant and what's not. I'll tell you what, he's more organised than I am.
Among the documents are wage slips from William Hill, Ladbrokes and Asda. A foreign student in Britain can work a maximum of 20 hours a week.
On the control, he did tell the officer that he was working at Asda, so we need to clarify how long he's been working for Asda, because clearly if he's working one place and then working 2 places, then the cumulative hours would be in excess of those 20.
He also finds letters from several colleges in Britain, all claiming he is studying with them. Officer Hassler wants to know how he can be in all these places at once.
So we're going to go in an interview and we're just going to ask him about his time as a student, and see what he says, because we've got colleges overlapping, massive, we've got 3 or 4 colleges at any one time that he's supposed to be studying at. So we'll go in there and we'll have a chat and see what he comes up with, and we'll see if he can discuss his course content. Okay, what I'd like you to do, just come in here please and sit down there, alright? Are you fitting well to be interviewed?
I'll try my best.
No, I don't want you trying your best. I want you to tell me, are you fitting well to be interviewed? Because I want to ask you some questions, and what I don't want you 5 or 10 minutes saying, oh, I can't answer that because I'm not well. Are you fitting well to be interviewed?
I mean, have I got any option?
Of course you've got an option. I'm asking you a question. Are you fitting well to be interviewed? If you don't feel you're well enough to be interviewed, you tell me, and I'll refer you back to the doctor.
I think I'm fine.
You think you're fine?
The interview has got off to an uncomfortable start, and
I
the real
will then
questions
refer
haven't even
my
begun.
case and my findings.
After the break, Officer Hassler turns up the heat.
All I want to confess is I have done nothing wrong in your country.
Okay, right, let me be the judge if you do nothing wrong, okay?
A man has arrived from Pakistan with just 4 days left on his student visa. Officer Hassler has questions about the certificates he submitted for a work permit and the hundreds of documents found in his hand luggage. He has at least 2 jobs and is studying at a number of colleges.
Why have you come to the UK?
Today?
Yeah, correct.
To study.
Okay, and where?
LSMS.
Which is?
London School of Management Sciences.
How long have you studied there?
Almost 5 years.
So, since your arrival then, you've effectively been studying all your time at London School of Management Science. Can you tell me why I have a letter from Empire College dated November 2004 saying that you were a full-time student doing a Bachelor of Science in Physics? So why would they be issuing you a letter if you've never studied there?
No, basically I didn't inform them that I left the college.
Why would you ask for this letter if you had no intention to be studying there? And please start telling me the truth, because at the moment you're not, and I can tell you're not.
No, that's what I'm telling you, sir.
That's what you're telling me.
I was still enrolled in then college, but I wasn't.
How can you possibly be enrolled in a college that you've never attended?
It's basically, sir, it's a misunderstanding because it wasn't my fault. All I want to say, I don't want to waste your time.
Listen, I'm getting paid to do this, so you're not wasting my time. I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
All I want to say, sir, I'm studying at whatever I have told you under
I'm under pressure or I'm
Listen,
confused.
you're not under pressure because I give you ample opportunity at the beginning of this interview and you chose to say that you were fitting well. And I did say, what I don't want you to do is start saying, oh, well, you know, I'm a bit confused, because your English is fine. It is more than acceptable for me to understand you, and I know that you can understand me.
All I want to confess is I have done nothing wrong in your country.
Okay, right, let me be the judge if you do nothing wrong, okay? What did you apply for in June of last year?
IGS.
And what happened to that?
It was refused.
What letters did you submit? What letters and certificates did you submit?
I did give them the result sheets. The postgraduate diploma in business administration.
From where?
From Westminster College of Computing.
Did you study at Westminster College of Computing?
No, sir.
Then how did you get all these certificates? You're best to just answer the truth, okay? Because I know what the truth is, and it's better that you corroborate it. So just answer me the question. How did you get these documents?
A person helped me to make these documents.
So they are false documents?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Yes. Were you working?
Yes, I was.
Where were you working?
Asda.
What hours do you work there?
I worked 20 hours there.
And what about William Hill?
I did work in William Hill as well.
So, we started end of December 2006, beginning of 2007 with Asda, okay? And you started William Hill the same time, okay? And you've worked 20 hours a week for Asda, yeah? And you've worked 20 hours a week for William Hill, yeah? So, how many hours in total did you work?
Roughly 40 hours.
And you still work for Asda and William Hill, yes?
So all I want to say is I'm not breaking any law or anything, or not harming.
Listen,
anyone.
just a sec. You say you're not breaking a law, right? But what do you think immigration law is? It's not one rule for one person, one rule for another. You are breaking the law. As a student, okay, you're not allowed to work more than 20 hours a week. You're working 40 hours a week. As a student, you're not supposed to pay for fraudulent documents to submit to the UK Home Office to then try and get a work permit to live in the UK. So you tell me where you've not broken the law.
Sir, I didn't mean to break the law. It was just my fault. It was my mistake, sir. Sir, that is.
Okay. Do you need anything to eat? Food? You okay? All right. From the very beginning, I mean, you could tell that he was struggling to sort of keep up with what was going on with regard to what his history was or what his purported history was. And we've established that he's gone and purchased these documents that he then submitted to the Home Office attempting to get a work permit. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's a clear refusal. Okay, Mr. Bourgeois? Right, I need to explain to you that you're going to be refused entry into the United Kingdom, okay?
If I go just back and straight away if I apply again straight away, I'm asking for advice.
If you're asking my honest opinion, if you went back to Pakistan and then you said next week you applied for a student visa, I would say it's very highly unlikely that you would be issued with a student visa. My personal opinion.
After a month or so.
Okay, you've got
The man has
yourself,
worked
right?
double
What are
the
you gonna
hours
show an
permitted for a
immigration
student,
officer?
and he's submitted false documents to try and get a visa. Yet he still hopes he can come back soon.
This is a massive problem we have now with students. It's what takes up the day, is returning students who are ultimately bogus students. They get the residence permit or they get the entry clearance from their country of origin, they come to the UK, don't ever study, get fraudulent documents to show that they have been or claim to have been studying, and then it just perpetuates itself. They get their residence permits, they get their extensions, and it's all built on a lie.